Non vedo. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the opening day of the World Food Forum. We are so excited to have you here. My name is Lindsay Hook. I'm the head of culture, so everything that involves film, music, gastronomy, all of the really fun activities with others to come this week. So as you can see, we are here with a very special guest. We have Chef Kotaro Noda here with us today. I'm so excited to have him. He is a Michelin-starred chef from Japan who has made Italy his second home, kind of similar to how I have. And so we are going to be making some incredible dishes for you today. We're going to be talking about his restaurants, both in Rome and in Tokyo, and I can't wait to get started. So welcome, Chef. Thank you so much for being here with us today. So would you tell us a little bit about yourself and what we're making?
Hello, my name is Kotaro Noda. I'm Japanese. um, Now I'm executive chef of Ristorante Faro in Tokyo, and I'm co-owner of Bistro 64 Rome. So
Let's get started. So what are we going to be making today?
Okay, today make pulse. Pulse is a very old recipe from Rome. So
So what is this?
this is a spelt flour,
Spelt flour, okay.
and
So what is pulse exactly? You said that it's a recipe from ancient Rome. Is this something that they ate often? Was this kind of their bread? Did it come before bread?
so this recipe is origin of bread. So Roman people eat look like bread. Okay, so very similar polenta. Do you know polenta?
Okay, yes, I do. Love polenta.
so
But this is made with spelt,
Yeah.
because spelt is an ancient grain, right? It's a very
Right?
old.
Yes. Or like so.
Perfect. So what are the ingredients for pulse?
In the ingredients are just two.
Okay.
One of water and one of flour.
Okay. Perfect. So actually, if you, is it? what you
No,
want?
so 1 liter of water
Okay.
and 250 grams of spelt flour.
Okay.
So today I use a modern machine because it is very easy to make.
Sure.
So
So it's just spelt flour and some water, and then how much time in the machine?
about 35 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
Very easy. It's no secret.
No secrets
Put
here.
this in all the
Okay.
flour and make lid and okay. Oh no.
If you have no machine at home, can you do this by hand, just stirring it?
Yeah, no pan.
So kind of with
You
a,
can
with a
cook
pot.
with, yeah.
Okay.
So I made 100.
Okay. So if anyone has ever been to Rome, where we are right now, for everyone watching online, if you drive around Rome, even just right outside of the city or inside parts of the city, there are a lot of really big fields and a lot of countryside, actually. So it's a very green city, and you can often find corn being grown, wheat, and of course, when the ancient Romans were here and they had their empire, there was more of this countryside space. So it was less city and more countryside. So you can only imagine all of the ancient grains that they were growing here. And spelt is one of those grains, and it's very nutritious, whole grain, great for you. So it's a very healthy recipe that we are making today. So this is for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Great. So shall we just let it cook and then work on something else?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we can switch. Awesome. Okay,
Okay.
so I know you're making a second recipe.
Yes.
What is the second recipe? This one here.
So, second recipe is potato spaghetti with butter and anchovy.
Okay.
So I can show you.
What is this machine?
Oh, this is a Japanese machine to make spaghetti.
So you kind of can spiralize any
Yeah,
vegetable.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
And is this a dish that you serve at your restaurants?
Yes, of course. Both restaurants.
Okay. And is it, I think it's kind of your signature dish, no? How did this come about? What is the story of the potato spaghetti?
So
Why are the
I don't remember how long for. Maybe about 10 years. I was thinking a new dish to Roman people.
And so because they've had this before, it's something that's common in Rome, but with normal spaghetti, not potato spaghetti in Rome?
Before I used normal spaghetti, but who has a problem with
Like gluten allergies.
yeah. So forse è meglio parlare italiano?
Vai.
Un giorno questa persona che voleva mangiare questo piatto, spaghetti burro e alice, non ha potuto mangiare. Allora ho pensato di fare qualcosa
Senza glutine.
pasta senza glutine, però all'epoca non c'era pasta senza glutine buona, quindi ho pensato un po',
Okay.
ho ragionato di fare.
So, about 10 years ago, he had a client at his restaurant who could not eat gluten. And so, back when this happened, there was less gluten free pasta options in Italy. And so, he didn't really have a good substitute for regular spaghetti. And so, he thought of a way to make a classic Roman dish, which is spaghetti with butter and anchovies, with something that had no gluten. So, potatoes is something that he first thought of because it is gluten free, but can kind of stand up to the condiments that he's going to put on it. Quindi qui cosa abbiamo? Il burro?
Adesso spaghetti sono usciti così lunghi, quindi bisogna spezzare un po'.
Okay,
con le
so
mani.
these, the spaghetti at this point are a little bit too long. So what he's doing is just kind of breaking it off into smaller pieces, so they're a little bit shorter. Perché fai questa cosa?
Perché spezzare, dici?
Sì.
Per se io metto così,
See?
una forchettata esce.
Exactly. So the reason why he cuts it is because imagine if you took your fork and you tried to pull up these spaghetti, it would come up all the way and wrap around the entire room. So it's important to kind of make sure that they're edible. Quindi, chef, tu sei giapponese. Com'è stato il tuo viaggio in Italia? Perché sei venuto qui? I asked chef, he's from Japan, so why did you come to Italy? What's your kind of story coming here?
Diciamo che era mia passione la cucina italiana, quindi
Volevi venire, diciamo, al posto, alla casa, al posto
anche
originario?
un'epoca c'era un po' di delusione sul mio paese, quindi
Sì.
non volevo più approfondire la mia cultura.
Sì.
Allora ho dato un'occhiata in giro,
Sì.
forse Europa, che comunque mi piaceva da piccolo, quindi
Sì.
ho pensato di venire a cambiare la vita.
Okay, so when Chef was growing up, he on TV saw things about Europe, things about Italy, and he's always loved Italian food. So he thought, what better way to kind of learn more about that than actually coming to Italy and seeing where it all started. So that's how his journey here kind of came about. And we were talking about this earlier because I've also moved to Italy 8 years ago, and so we're kind of talking about our journey, how we learned the language, and the kind of similarities between our cultures. So, Chef, ci sono delle cose simili tra l'Italia e il Giappone per il cibo, per la cultura?
Sì, ci sono molte somiglianze tra i due paesi, comunque geograficamente da nord-sud ci troviamo quasi stessa condizione,
Okay.
poi entrambi ci sono 4 stagioni, quindi anche materia prima si trova facilmente,
Okay.
perciò poi due paesi che comunque hanno lunga vita, quindi hanno
Sì.
salute alimentazione, sono molte cose in comune,
Okay.
credo questa la risposta.
Okay, so Chef was saying that there are several similarities between Italy and Japan. One of them being that both countries have a very long lifespan of the people. I'm not sure if anyone here or online has heard of blue zones, but it's zones of the world where people live for a particularly long amount of time. And both Japan and Italy are actually both blue zones. So they have this similarity in that they have such a healthy culture that they live for a really long time. So those are kind of the similarities he found. Also that there are 4 seasons, and so if you go to Colombia or other places around the equator, you don't find 4 seasons, and so the products are also very similar. The kind of ingredients and crops that he finds. Quindi adesso cosa facciamo? What are we doing now?
Ok, mia ricetta tutto semplice, quindi qui c'è patate, poi abbiamo burro.
Okay.
Ok,
Okay, so his recipe is very simple, he said. He has the potato spaghetti that he made, and now he has some butter. Questo burro di un certo tipo?
sì,
Salato, non
questo
salato?
è burro Normandia.
Ah, okay, so
Questo è il segreto perché se faccio una
ah,
cucina italiana a Roma, però uso un burro
okay.
francese, quindi
So I love butter, so I had to know what kind of butter he's using, and he said that even though this is an Italian recipe, he likes to use French butter. So that's kind of the secret that we're revealing to you tonight. And this?
curatura di alici.
See? So this is called colatura di alici. So alici in Italian is anchovies, and colatura is kind of the stuff something that drips. So essentially, colatura di alici is when you get anchovies and you press them, and they kind of release this really intense flavor. And so he only had to use a tiny bit of that to kind of get that anchovy flavor in.
Poi cucino direttamente patate così.
Okay.
Allora, quando patate si cuoce nell'acqua,
Sì.
si spappolano quando c'è contatto con liquido.
Ah,
Invece si cuoce nel grasso direttamente come se fosse fritta.
okay.
Quindi diventa una consistenza che piacciono a tutti più o meno. Poi qui parla di ardente pasta,
Sì.
quindi questo viene chiamato spaghetti, quindi deve essere ardente.
Okay.
Perciò faccio rimanere questa consistenza questo metodo di cottura.
Okay. So in Italy, something really important is al dente pasta, and al dente means to the tooth, so that when you actually take a bite of the pasta, you can still kind of feel the texture of it in your mouth. And so Chef Noda has kind of continued that tradition in this dish, making sure that the potatoes are not too mushy. So when you cook potatoes in water, when you boil potatoes at home, you can kind of tell that the potato gets very soft. But here, he's not using any water. He's just using fat because he has the butter. And so with the butter, it's almost like you're frying the potatoes. So you have potatoes that are nice and al dente. So you still have that Italian pasta cooking time with the potatoes here since you didn't use any water and they don't get too mushy.
Allora, questo è già pronto. Una pecca di cooking show è perché la gente curiosisce,
Sì,
ma non si capisce il sapore. L'unico modo per capire è assaggiare.
sì,
Quindi forse
certo.
possiamo fare assaggiare a tutti?
Già adesso?
Non lo so, una
Okay.
domanda.
Allora, so something that Chef said about having a cooking show is that usually with a cooking show, you're just watching it on TV and you can't actually taste the food. And so tonight, we are going to let 50 of you, which I think we kind of have in this room, maybe even a little less, we're going to let you all taste this famous dish of Chef. So before we do that, prima di fare questo, vorrei parlarti un po' dei tuoi ristoranti. So before we do that, though, I would love to talk to Chef about his restaurants. So, quindi hai due ristoranti, uno a Roma e uno a Tokyo. Parlami di questa cosa. What is the story behind the two restaurants in Rome and in Tokyo?
Allora, quello che vedete, comincio a parlare da Bistro
Okay.
64.
Starting with Bistro 64 in Rome.
Allora, sono socio di un ristorante, quindi ci sono anche altri due soci che abbiamo sognato insieme di avere una ristorazione che ci piacciono, nel senso che dove ci sono cibo di qualità, ma è molto casual, che prezzo accessibile a tutti. Quindi abbiamo messo questo nome Bistrot, sempre un nome francese, però si mangia cucina moderna, italiana e piatti romani tradizionali,
Okay.
molto particolare.
So, Bistro 64 in Rome was born out of a dream that Chef Noda had with a couple of business partners. And what they wanted to do was create a restaurant that is fine dining, very high quality ingredients, but at a price that's more accessible for everyone. So, out of his love for Italian culture and his desire to make high quality food that's traditional and innovative, accessible to everyone, he created Bistro 64 in Rome. So you've probably seen it on Stanley Tucci's show, Discovering Italy, and other things. It's gotten quite a lot of press throughout the years, and it's an absolutely amazing place. Another thing that he mentioned is that he does like to keep it casual because fine dining doesn't always have to be an experience where you have to wear a tie and be very formal, but it can also just be a fantastic experience with friends and family, eating high quality food that's unique.
Allora, invece Faro a Tokyo sono ristorante stile fine dining che facciamo una cucina italiana solo con ingredienti giapponesi,
Okay.
però ci sono due menù degustazione, qui uno è vegano.
Okay. Okay, so at the other restaurant in Tokyo, it's called Faro, which means lighthouse in Italian, and it's another Italian restaurant, so they are making authentic Italian food, but only with Japanese ingredients, which is kind of the twist. And we have a fantastic masterclass also that's come out, that will come out this week for the World Food Forum that talks about fine dining in Japan using these Japanese ingredients. Because of COVID, you couldn't fly in all of the ingredients from abroad or from Italy, and so they decided to use what they had. So stay tuned for that later this week. And another thing is that they have two tasting menus at Faro in Tokyo. They have one that's a normal tasting menu, and the other one is actually vegan. Perché hai fatto un menù vegano?
Secondo me cucina vegana è il futuro, nel senso che oggi abbiamo già i problemi di cibo per tutta la popolazione che sta nella terra, riducendo anche la produzione della carne, diminuisce anche il CO2. allora io ho pensato di non fare diventare tutti vegani, invece oggi, perché a Tokyo si trovi tantissimi tipi di ristorante, tante tipologie che possono scegliere. Oggi cosa andiamo a mangiare? Magari gente dicono che oggi andiamo a mangiare vegano, già questo gesto salva il nostro futuro del
That's
mondo.
amazing. So what Chef said is, I asked him the reason why he created a vegan menu for his restaurant, and he said that he thinks that, eating less meat and going more vegan is the future because there are so many problems with how animals are raised, the meat industry, and the carbon dioxide, of course, that they do produce through industrial meat production. So he thinks that it's very important to make sure that people eat more vegetables and a little less meat. And he says, he's not saying that everyone should go vegan, but if someone says, let's go out and have a vegan dinner tonight with friends instead of going out and eating a hamburger or something, and that small gesture could really make a difference in the future. So it's just one small gesture at a time that truly makes a difference. And I think what Chef said really kind of brings us to the point that consumers have the power, because if you want a producer to change, if you want these big companies to change, all of our power as consumers comes when we make purchases. So when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the market, depending on where you go, what you buy, if you do buy more vegetables, less meat, or at least meat that is produced in a more sustainable way, that is you exuding your power as a consumer. So definitely make sure that you do your research and choose good products to make sure that you're having your say, basically.
Quindi oggi ho preparato due ricette, uno è vegano ovviamente, però portando la ricetta antica della Roma, però ho fatto un po' versione moderna, diciamo vegana. Un altro piatto che specchia il mio passato, quindi questo spaghetti di patate e burro radici.
Yeah.
Adesso
So, wow, it looks really beautiful. So, basically, what he's saying is that the dishes that we've made today are kind of similar to the dishes that he has at his restaurant in Faro, because you have one that is not vegan, but then you have one that is vegan. So that's exactly what we're doing today, is that we have one dish that is not, but then one dish that is. So it's nice to kind of have that balance. Quando vogliamo far assaggiare, così glielo avviso.
Allora, intanto io comincio a
Ah,
rimpiattare questo piatto. Nel
ok.
frattempo, i miei ragazzi qua dietro credo che stanno preparando per voi, quindi
Okay, perfetto. So we're going to start kind of letting you taste this wonderful dish. We're going to start with the potato spaghetti because it is pretty much ready, and Chef Noda's colleagues are going to bring you some from the other side. So stay in your seats, it will come to you. For everyone watching from home in any country you're in, we invite you to try and create some smell-o-vision so you can smell this. But it's really looking great, and as you can see, it's very creamy, it's very thin, and it truly does look like pasta. When I saw the picture, I did not think it was potatoes. And this is a really great chef's trick, that to make the nice little nest, you
sì,
need a ladle, and
questo è il segreto dello chef.
sì, si può usare anche una forchetta se non c'è.
Allora, qui c'è liquirizia,
Ah, okay, this is licorice powder.
poi mettiamo stesso patate che è uscito da questa macchina,
Ah,
però ci sono due tipologie di pasta che escono, uno tutto collegato, un altro questo viene chiamato scarti,
okay.
però noi non buttiamo niente, quindi questo ho fritto olio normale,
See?
quindi patatine fritte semplici.
Okay. So he's saying that when you use this machine, there's a few different types of potato shapes that actually come out of it. So you do have this kind of rod here that comes out, but then you also have the really long strips that we were cutting before, and then you have these kind of shorter strips that aren't as attractive to eat, but our dear Chef Noda does not want to waste anything, which is perfect. And so he takes those shorter strips that come out and he actually fries them and uses them on top. So it's kind of like fried potatoes on top for garnish. E questo che cos'è?
Questo è barbabietola rossa.
Ah, okay, so this is red beet powder. L'hai fatto tu?
Sì,
Come l'hai fatto?
è semplicemente disidratato alla temperatura bassa e poi abbiamo macinato con
Wow. So Chef actually makes this powder himself. So what he does is he takes red beets and he dehydrates them at a very low temperature for a long time. And then he just blends them up and makes this powder. So, and he uses it to garnish things or to add some flavor and color. E questo è erba cipollina.
erba cipollina.
And then this is really finely chopped chives that he's putting on top. I have no idea how he chopped them that small.
Poi questo è shiso.
Ah, okay. And this is shiso. My kind of micro greens of
Yeah.
shiso on top. Bellissimo. It's so beautiful.
Ok, è pronto.
Wow. Okay. Can we show this little beautiful work of art that I haven't done anything, Chef did everything, but we've created this beautiful little plate here. So thank you so much, Chef, for this. I know we have the pulse here as well that has a few minutes to go. So would you like to show us, are these the actual grains of spelt?
This is, spelt and lentil.
So here we have some spelt. Here on the left, as you can see the grains. And then here we have some lentils. So tell me, spiegami qual è il significato del tutto.
Allora, una ricetta antica, quindi ovviamente sono grani antichi che coltivavano tantissimi anni fa, più di 2000 anni fa. Lenticchie è un legumi che mangiavano anche i romani, quindi anche come prodotto è antichissimi. Allora, questa ricetta volevo portare qua, ma oggi volevo fare una versione vegana. I romani per condimento usava garum, non so se conosci.
No.
Garum è una coratura, però non di solo specifico alice, una coratura di pesce.
Okay, di qualsiasi pesce.
Tutto.
So he wanted to bring us these ingredients, these beautiful ingredients, because these are both ancient grain and legume that the Romans actually grew, thousands of years ago here on the same soil, maybe even, that we're on now at the FAO headquarters. And so this is the spelt, like I said, and this is the legumes. And they're two things that the ancient Romans tended to eat a lot of. I imagine because it was easy to grow, tended sometimes to not need that much water, and were abundant. And he said that they also used, instead of the colatura di alici, which is that kind of pressed essence, let's call it, of the anchovies, they would use a pressed liquid, doing it the same way, but they would use kind of any fish they found because, they couldn't always choose exactly what fish they wanted to have.
Allora, oggi al posto di garum ho portato garum vegetale.
Ok, oh
E
wow.
praticamente noi siamo famosi per soy sauce, no? Salsa di soia, ma questo processo viene portato in Italia. Un signore che abita a Viterbo,
Sì?
Carlo Nesla, è appassionato di cultura orientale e lui produce queste tanti tipi di salsa di soia, ma fatto con ingredienti locali. Quindi, per esempio, questo è piselli, fatto con piselli, che si chiama pisa. Anche c'è una salsa soia che è fatto con lenticchie, che si chiama lentis.
Wow. Okay, so Chef today wanted to bring us a little something that could kind of mimic that garum giusto?
Garum.
The garum kind of sauce that the Romans would use. And so he brought us something, though, that is vegetable-based, because that is kind of the theme of the pulse dish here. So what he brought us is called salsa pizza, and it's essentially the vegan version of that sauce. So this one is made of peas, e frumento, quindi grano, and wheat, and so made into a sort of soy sauce, un po' come la salsa di soia, no?
Sì, sì.
Because in Japan, and of course they're famous for soy sauce, and so he likes to kind of incorporate that part of his culture into the food that he serves here. And he actually found someone right outside of Rome that makes these kind of vegan sauces and of lots of different things. So, ma la salsa di soia, come è fatta? How is soy sauce made and how is it used? Come è usato?
Come fai la salsa di soia?
Sì, come si fa?
Allora, l'ingrediente ha bisogno, in Giappone, una fagioli che si chiama daisuke, fagioli di soia, come chiamano, e koji è un riso fermentato con batteri koji, quindi di solito usano koji giallo, perché ci sono anche bianco, nero, ci sono vari, e rosso, però nel caso di soia la maggior parte usano giallo e sale.
Ok.
Prima di tutto cuoce fagioli, dopodiché quando caldo mescolano con questo koji e sale, poi mettono dentro un contenitore di legno
Ok.
tradizionale e poi fanno fermentare.
Ok, quindi abbiamo quel fagiolo, poi abbiamo il sale,
E riso fermentato
che
si
riso
chiama
fermentato.
eh,
Perfetto.
koji.
Okay, so there basically are three main ingredients in soy sauce. The first one being a local bean, and then we have the salt, of course, and then it's also, we have some rice derivatives in there as well, and it basically all gets boiled together and then fermented in these special containers. So that's kind of what they do here as well, but with different things. So it's very unique that he brought us this sauce. So I think some food has been brought out to everyone. What do you think about it? Have you tasted it? Is it good? Does it remind you of pasta?
Ah, già stanno mangiando?
Sì, sì, sì,
Perché
sì, hanno
non si
qualcosa.
vede niente con fuoco.
We have the lights and the smoke and all the drama here, so we can't really see much. But I'm glad you guys are enjoying that. Maybe while we're passing out the food and while you are tasting, we'd love to show you a video that we have prepared by one of our partners, because we were talking about food waste here with Chef, and we've done a fantastic impact initiative with the World Food Forum together with our fantastic partner that we will reveal to you here. And we are really proud of the results. We got some numbers in today. You'll be seeing them on social soon. We've had absolutely incredible results. So many people that are wasting less food and making sure to use up their scraps, kind of like we did with the potatoes today. So let's take a look at that video now.
Vedo che tra pochi minuti questo sarà pronto. Posso...
Adesso facciamo vedere.
Food solidarity is absolutely a language that connects us with the best of us, with our loving and nurturing past. Our mother tongue, where our most beautiful memories, the most lovely ones, give us shelter.
At the social gastronomy movement, we believe that good food is a right, not a privilege. We are chefs, educators, social entrepreneurs, activists, and farmers who believe thoroughly in the power of food to transform realities and to transform communities.
The Universal Plate campaign was born as a solidarity action in October 2020. At the height of the pandemic, organizations and individuals from the movement were working tirelessly to guarantee the community's access to healthy and nutritious meals. To connect these efforts, collaborate on shared goals, and celebrate the impact of social gastronomy around the world, we co-created this global action. On World Food Day of 2020, we served 90,000 meals in just 24 hours of action. And last year, well, its impact increased tenfold, with 900,000 meals served on the weekend of World Food Day. This year, over 6 weeks, the Universal Plate is making its way even further around the world, and with it, countless stories, connections, collaborations, and partnerships emerge.
in order to have like psychosocial change, right, in the way that how the human brain and body interact with our social surroundings, we need to have that, right? Where's the funding for that, right? The funding there is like just love and care, and this is what we're doing when we cook, when we gather people around the table, when we gather people around the virtual table as well, to try and figure out different things.
So I think we need to reframe it and actually go beyond the current system and look for food sovereignty. So that means that actually those that are producing, distributing, or eating food also decide how their food gets planted, how their food gets produced, and what they're eating. And there we're looking at food as a commons, just like the air that we breathe. It's something that we do since the day we're born until the day we die. So it must become a common.
Thank you so much to everyone who has participated in this collective action, showing the world the power of food to truly impact the lives of individuals and build community around the world. Without you, this movement does not exist. When we raise our collective voice and take action in solidarity across borders, we plant seeds for a better future for everyone.
Diciamo che frattempo questo è pronto.
Thank you so much, Social Gastronomy Movement. It has been such a pleasure working with you. We cannot wait to make more concrete action and change happen in the future, and I cannot wait to see all of the results that we have from you. So we're back again here with Chef Noda, and everyone is enjoying their potato spaghetti, their spaghetti di patate. Perfect, I have some thumbs up from the audience, thanks. So now Pulse is almost done. So shall we take a look? Wow.
Più o meno come una polenta.
Okay, so this is
mais.
kind of similar to the polenta. E adesso è un po' liquido, però quando lo metti nel piatto si indurisce un po'.
Perché questo è caldo caldo.
Ok.
Però, adesso controllo la densità un attimo. Sì,
Va bene?
va bene.
Wow. It has an amazing consistency. And again, this is a dish that actually came about before bread. So now you're not only going to have one Michelin star dish to taste tonight, but you're going to have two, because we really care about our audience here at the World Food Forum. So as soon as you finish what you're having, we're going to bring you out a taste of the pulse, which is the bread before the bread. So this is what Romans would eat before the traditional loaf of bread that we know and love now came about. So I'm very excited to see that. And speaking of bread, obviously to make great bread, you need great ingredients. So Chef Noda told me an amazing story when I first met him about 2 months ago about the kind of experiences that he has his staff also experience at the restaurant to show them the importance of the actual ingredients they use. So ci racconti un po' dei fornitori, degli ingredienti che usi con lo staff anche?
Allora, cerchiamo di usare materia prima anche in Giappone e in Italia. Importante, noi andiamo a vedere tutti i produttori. Prima cosa, anche vedo ingredienti, ma vedo persona, ci parliamo, la loro filosofia, perché è facile capire il loro prodotto, perché comunque quella persona che fa la differenza. Quindi quest'estate noi siamo andati tutti insieme, la mia squadra in Toscana, a vedere questa antichi grani dove coltivano farro.
Questo è da loro?
Sì, che è un posto veramente meraviglioso. Quindi certe volte ricetta uno chef magari finge di fare bello piatto, quindi pensa molto, invece ultimamente io non penso, io visito il produttore per avere loro ispirazione.
Fantastico. Okay, so Chef said that in his restaurants, it's very important for him to kind of really get to know intimately the ingredients that he buys. So he actually prefers to go straight to the producer whenever possible. And so when you see spelt like this is not just spelt that he ordered, on the internet or through a traditional restaurant supplier. What he was saying is that he really prefers to go straight to the source and kind of see what they're doing. And so one example of that is when he brought his staff to a beautiful farm in Tuscany, here in Italy, just north of Rome, where they went to a farm that actually grows these antique grains. So you have different kinds of wheat, different kinds of spelt, and other things. And so he said that his inspiration kind of comes from them because the producers are doing something really important. These smallholder farmers have such a crucial job to make sure that we have sustainable and healthy food that we can eat. Of course, like our theme, healthy diets, healthy planet. So when Michelin-starred chefs like Chef Noda actually go and support these farmers, it is truly, it's good. It could change an industry. So it's really fun to hear these stories that he took all of his staff there and had them see how the grain is produced. They saw where it's grown. They saw how it's processed and put into bags and everything. And he said that a lot of chefs kind of seek their inspiration from a lot of different places, and they kind of work their ingredients all perfectly together, and they have a recipe in mind. But what Chef Noda likes to do is actually go straight to the farm, straight to the producer, see what they're doing, what they're, even cooking with what they grow, and then he starts with the ingredient, and then he crafts the dish around that, because that's how important the high-quality ingredient is. It's truly center stage for him.
E questo Pulse, dopo qualche ora comunque abbiamo raffreddato,
Okay.
che è un'altra consistenza.
Sì.
Quindi,
So this is the pulse that quindi l'hai fatto qualche ora fa.
sì.
This is the pulse that he made just a few hours ago. And as you can see, it kind of has a slightly different consistency. It's a little bit almost jelly-like in terms of it hardening, because as you could see when we were looking inside his machine earlier, we had something that was very liquidy, but now it's actually become quite firm, as you can see. So it's easier to kind of scoop up, and I'm sure it has some amazing flavor. Quindi questo è il piatto e si fa condire con qualcosa o si mangia così?
Sì, no, solo pane si può mangiare, però
Ok, scambiamo?
forse è meglio accompagnato da qualche cosa. Quindi
Ok.
oggi abbiamo scelto di
So
fare
when
con
you-
queste lenticchie
Sì.
una zuppa.
Ok.
Abbiamo usato sedano, carote e cipolla.
Ok.
E questa zuppa aromatizzato con rosmarino.
Ok, perfect. So, e quindi lo vai a mettere sopra? O al lato? Al pulse?
Pulse viene coperto con la zuppa
Ok.
quando voi
Perfetto.
assaggiate.
So this pulse, he's saying that, when you have a nice loaf of bread, the bread that we know today, not the Roman pre-bread, it's easy to just kind of have a slice. But with this, you kind of need to add a little something to it. So what Chef has done is actually made a lentil soup with the holy trinity of Italian soffritto, which is carrots, celery, and onions. And he has sauteed those all together to make this soup that he's going to put on top. So that is what you will be tasting today. Okay.
Sì, quindi ho pensato a un piatto unico sostanzioso, comunque anche oggi fanno con la pasta e fagioli, nella zuppa di legumi mettono la pasta, allora ho pensato di fare in questo modo, pulse inserito dentro una zuppa.
Fantastic. So in Italy, something that's very popular is pasta and beans, because it's very kind of filling, but it is vegetarian or vegan depending on how you make it. So he kind of thought to bring that back several thousand years, and he decided to put this soup with the bread, because instead of doing the pasta with the beans, or the legumes, he's doing the pulse, the bread with the beans. So that is what he's going to serve you today. So it's kind of one traditional, very satisfying meal that that he's kind of recreated from something that's very old. Quindi lo andiamo a assaggiare.
Sì.
Perfetto. So they are coming in. I can see them coming in
Penso
with
che sta
these
arrivando.
fantastic bowls, just like this one here. So you are going to taste your second Michelin star dish tonight. So we are really happy that you could all be here today. Thank you so much, Chef Noda, for being with us, for taking time off of your brand new restaurant. We know that you just refurbished and reopened, so we're so happy you could be with us here today, and I hope you all enjoy all of the tastes that we gave you today, and I hope to go in the back and taste something myself. So thank you so much for being with us this evening, this morning, wherever you are, and we are going to have our concert pretty soon, so definitely stay tuned for that, and we will see you later and for the rest of the week. So have a great evening, everyone.